Hello, third graders. Welcome to home learning. Today we are going to go through your expectations for day one of our home learning experience. I know everyone is going to have a great attitude towards this new opportunity, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a quick look at what you're going to do for day one. First up is you have your Unit 4 math review, and there's some story problems on there. I want to highlight some of the things that you're going to have to think about. So remember, when we do our story problems, these are the critical things. We want to, of course, read, reread, and then when we're in the process of doing that, we underline the question, the important information that's going to help us solve the question, and the important hint words. We are going to then, of course, label. I added that one. We have not been labeling our problems very well lately. And of course, solving and then doing our check. We talked about different ways to do our checks. Let us read the first story problem on our review together. Tennis balls are sold in containers of 10 balls each. If the manager of a sports store puts 48 containers of balls on shelves for sale, how many tennis balls are on the shelves? Let's read it a second time and underline our important information and questions and hint words. Tennis balls are sold in containers of 10 balls each. That might be important. If the manager of a sports store puts 48 containers of balls on shelves for sale, how many tennis balls are on the shelves? Well, I probably want to underline the fewest words possible, and those words would be in the question, how many tennis balls? So now let's go back. I think 10 balls each is important information. Each is also a hint word, telling us that they're probably equal groups. So they are equal groups. So then we can multiply. And 48 containers means that there's 48 containers of 10 balls each. Boy, that sounds like a multiplication problem to me. Now let's take a look at multiplying numbers by 10. Now if we have 73 times 10, we could add 73 10 times. Wow, look at that addition problem. Ooh, that's going to take us a long time and a lot of opportunities for making mistakes. But we know something about multiplying 73 times 10 to do it quickly that we've talked about before. We can use our rule of 1. Any number times 1 is that number, and we will simply write our 73 down on the board. And then we add our 0. Our answer is 730. Another important skill that we're going to need to review is our understanding of place value columns. Now, this is a big number that is probably beyond our third grade learning, but you have stepped up to the challenge. You know what this number is. This is 397,027. So let's review the names of the place value columns. Let's start with the ones. The ones, the 7 is in the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the 10,000s. That's one that gets people confused. And then the 100,000s. Another skill that we need to review is making new tens or new hundreds when we add larger numbers. So let's take a look at this one. 3,972 plus 909. We know that 2 plus 9 equals 11. We'll put down the 1 in the ones column, and we will make an additional 10. There you go. I have an additional 10. Now we're going to add the tens column, and we know that 1 plus 7 plus 0 is 8. Making sure we put that in the tens column. And then we go to the hundreds column, and we're going to add 9 plus 9. That equals 18. Put the 8 down in the hundreds column. Make a new 1,000. And then we add up the thousands column. 1 plus 3 is 4. There you go. Let's not forget about reviewing subtracting larger numbers and regrouping. Let's take a look at 4,845 subtract 2,596. First, let's take a look at the 5 subtract 6. We ask ourselves, are we able to do that? We say no, because you can't take 6 away from 5. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a little regrouping. We go over next door to the tens, and we see that there's enough there to take a little. So we're going to make the tens into a 3. Make sure you write that down there. We're going to then move that over into the ones. Now we're going to cross off that 5 because it's not 5 anymore. It's going to be 15. Now we can subtract the 6 from 15, and we end up with 9. Okay, so let's take a look at our tens. 3 subtract 9. Can't do that one either. So let's go over and see if we have any in the hundreds columns. Yes, we do. So let's do some regrouping. Let's cross off that 8. Rewrite it as a 7. Now there's 7 hundreds. And we're going to cross off this 13. And we're going to cross off the 3, excuse me, and make it into 13. Okay. Make sure you always leave enough room up here. I didn't quite leave enough room there, boys and girls, but I think you can see it. So 13 subtract 9 is going to be, what is that going to be, boys and girls? Yes, that's right. It's going to be 4. Good job. Now, let's take a look at our hundreds. We have 7 subtract 5. Can we do that? Yes, we can. So 7 subtract 5 is 2. Awesome. We're almost finished here. And now, of course, we have our thousands column. 4 subtract 2 is going to equal 2. Put our comma in there between the thousands and the hundreds. Now, I hope you didn't make the mistake of regrouping everything, because did we need to do a regroup between the thousands and the hundreds? No, we didn't. So that's where we've had some problems, where people regroup everything and everything does not need to be regrouped. So great job, boys and girls. Boys and girls, we'll just quickly go through the rest of day 1 now. Our next thing on the list is our daily language review. Now, you have done this many times. You know how it works. No explanation needs to be given. Please complete and then check and really see if you can remember what you made, why you made the mistake, if you made a mistake. And if you don't know, ask your mom and dad, your big brother or sister, or have mom and dad send me an email, give me a phone call, and I'll talk to you or your mom and dad. Now, let's take one look at this special word. What are the context clues that are going to tell you what incessant means? Now that's probably an easy one because we just heard about that word, and you know that Mr. Hickey loves the word incessant. It sounds so cool. We heard that in our story of Charlotte's Web. So there it is again. The dog's incessant barking all day long drove the neighborhood crazy. Wow, great word. Boys and girls, now you should be taking some time to work on your chunking and sound out words. Remember, please do the see, say, write, and check method. And I've suggested, 3 sound outs, and then as many checks as you need to until you can get it right. However, if 3 sound outs is not enough for you, you can do as many as it takes. So today and these next few days, you're going to be working on changing the Y to I when a word ends in a consonant and a Y when you're adding ES or ED. Now, we've spoken about this several times. We've talked a lot about it. So this is going to be mostly a practice experience for you. So no, you should have no problem with that. Of course, have mom and dad give me an email or phone call if you need help on this. And now, finally, boys and girls, take a little time to read and highlight the important information about St. Patrick. Unfortunately, we were not together tomorrow. Yesterday. I was really looking forward to spending St. Patrick's Day with you and telling you the story about Ian. I owe you that story still, so remind me when we're back in school to tell it to you. So take a look at this page, and of course, do this activity down here. And it doesn't say to, but I think this might be a good opportunity to do a little coloring too. So you guys did a great job of your shamrocks in school with all the prefixes, base words, and suffixes. They look great, and thanks a lot for working so hard. Of course, any questions, have mom and dad email me or give me a phone call. Third graders, I know you're going to be very excited about this. I hope you all found your own personal copy, of course to be borrowed and given back to me when you come back to school, of Charlotte's Web. Some of you have said, why can't we just read Charlotte's Web in our own books and read it together? Well, here you go. Here's your chance. We'll read it together. You guys are going to read it. We can talk a little bit about it maybe. Start reading about when Wilbur heads out to the fair in that chapter. I marked each book for you and wrote it down on your lesson guide. So enjoy that and maybe use some stop and jots. Of course, use some stop and jots. Tell mom and dad what stop and jots are and mark down some character traits and information about the setting and, information about the climax and the problem and the resolution. Yep, you're right. Yep, you're already thinking about it. You're going to have to do a responding to reading and writing sheet when you guys are finished with this. You're going to do a great job. Don't forget a few vocabulary words on those stop and jots also. Remember one last thing, boys and girls. Go Zephyrs!